Brother, and welcome back.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
I was about to say hello because I saw.
Oh, go ahead. I'm gonna clean. I'm gonna fix that easily.
So, hello, girls and boys. How's it going? I'm very glad to be back.
You
and
should
great to
be
have you
now
here.
once again in control.
No, I'm not.
You are. There it is.
I see you not.
Okay, damn.
Okay, so hello, girls and boys. So today we're gonna be having a conversation about singers, more specifically rock singers. And the idea here is to try to share notes and see how well does AI can provide a list of rock singers that actually makes some form of sense and does not complete bullshit. So we're gonna be kind of going over some of our favorite rock singers, our own picks for it, and then we're gonna be comparing with whatever comes up out of an AI top 10. I don't expect to see a lot of correlation, but I guess we'll see. So, not keeping my hopes up when it comes to that, being very honest.
Yeah, but give me. I'm about to get this done. Give me a sec.
Okay, so we're almost there, girls and boys, so I'll just keep stalling for the time being. We invite you to share your own favorite rock singers as well. That way we can keep the conversation going.
Yeah, click on that one on the very top corner. The top corner.
What?
Go back to the next one. Top corner. Gosh, not working. So take us to the. Oh yes, like
You have to do it.
profile streaming. Damn it. Okay, we're gonna fix this easily. Give me a second. I know which one I get entertained.
Okay.
That's what happened. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's some of the perks of doing stuff live is that you face stuff that you didn't expect to.
Yes. Now just click on that one. The
This
one.
guy.
No, the other guy.
This one?
That the next one. That one.
This one.
Yeah,
Okay, so
perfect.
there
You're
we
fully
are.
in control. Finally, sorry about that. Something wrong happened with the control for the live stream, but now we're back. And yes, as Theo said, we're gonna be working with Grok in this case. We're gonna be asking Grok what is the most popular, or who are the top 10 most popular singers in rock history. Are we gonna be reacting to it because allegedly AI is now our Lord and Savior.
Yes.
So it's the stuff of
Be
the
praised.
So should we begin?
I suppose we can.
Yes. Okay, so let's do it.
Shall we get to it?
Yes.
So
But are you gonna ask me what are we gonna be drinking today?
I am. The thing is that I'm kind of a thrown off balance here.
Yes, go ahead.
But what's the mix for today?
Today we're gonna be drinking a caipirosca. A caipirosca.
Sounds exotic.
Exotic, yes.
And dangerous. No, it doesn't.
Dangerous. Actually, it's not just a regular caipirosca. It's a caipirosca made out of maracuyá. So this is as Brazilian as it can get, I imagine. But it won't because we're using vodka instead of cachaça. Could you introduce the word to cachaça and how dangerous it is?
So world cachaça is a Brazilian beverage that is made through sugarcane. It's a fermented process.
It's alcohol.
It's alcohol, but extracted out of the sugarcane.
Yes.
It's very. It can be very potent, alcohol-wise. I don't recommend it having it neat.
Yeah, straight is not a good idea.
Some people do it, but it's not the kind of people that you usually would like to mingle around.
Yeah.
But well, the possibility is there. But honestly, caipirinha is the most popular presentation for cachaça.
For a reason, it's actually quite refreshing. It's very,
Yes.
very fresh. But it's super alcoholic.
Yeah, and it's something that you can do with whatever fruit you have at
Yes.
home because it works with basically anything.
Yeah, today I didn't have access to lemon, so I ended up using
Yeah.
maracuyá, which is super exotic.
Yes.
But to make it even more exotic, I decided because I didn't have cachaça, to go for vodka. So that's why it's a caipirosca.
So it's the alternative. Is the Russian cousin
Yes.
for the caipirinha is the
Exactly.
caipirosca.
Yeah. So
And let's see how it goes. Oh,
So there. It worked.
It works. It did.
Yep.
Not that I don't trust your mixing skills, but I was
No.
expecting less.
Me too. Because I'm not that fond of the caipirinha, being frank. It's not a bad drink. It's simply not right there in my alley.
Yeah.
So let's begin.
Just one thing, if you want to bring your light tiny bit closer to you, that will probably be for the best.
Yes.
While we get our stuff together in Grok.
Rock. So let me close this guy because this is not the browser we use for this.
Okay, so let me go back to the main.
Yeah. Is this one.
Okay, and if you're watching us in Rumble, now we are taking Rumble a little bit more seriously. We have access to your comments, so if
Yeah.
you're watching us from Rumble, we invite you to also be a part of the conversation.
Yeah, just-
You can share with us your favorite rock singers, and let's see who's right, because the algorithm AI is gonna tell us the absolute truth.
Absolute truth. The
Yes.
only truth.
Exactly. So we're
That's
going to be
true.
comparing our opinions to the truth of the AI.
Yeah, so let's check it out. Now it's
Okay.
working. Take us to that particular. Excellent. There
Okay,
is.
there,
There is almost.
there it is enough, I suppose.
That's correct. Yes. So let's begin. So how would you ask it? Let's
Okay.
say, give me a list
Mm.
of the top 10 rock singers of all time and explain why. Show them one by one.
Yeah, wait for the prompt.
Yeah.
Oh, and also in
In order.
the decreasing
Ah,
order.
Yeah. In the decreasing order.
Let's
Let's
see
see.
if it's gonna operate as we.
Here's the
expect.
list. Freddie Mercury is number one.
Okay, so we already get number one.
Yeah, wherever you go.
You didn't give a flying squirrel.
Yeah, but let's go one by one, okay?
All right.
So, it's part of the charm, I guess. So, here we go. So, we got first Freddie Mercury as number one. According to this guy, this thing, Freddie Mercury is widely regarded as the greatest rock singer due to his extraordinary vocal range, 4 octaves, theatrical delivery, and genre-defining versatility. His ability to blend operatic flourishness with raw rock energy in songs like Bohemian Rhapsody, obviously, and Somebody to Love,
Yeah, the usual suspects.
set a new standard for vocal performance.
Did it?
Exactly. If Mercury's charisma and stage presence were unmatched, that's a fact, making Queen's live shows legendary. His emotional depth and technical precision, combined with his ability to connect with audiences, cemented his place at the top. Would you agree with that?
I agree with a part of that.
Why?
I
First,
think
you're a huge Queen fan.
I am a big Queen fan, being very honest, and I think that on a conversation about rock singers, Freddie Mercury has to be a part of it. That's a given.
But number one,
Number one might be debatable. Let's get to it. But I think that the part that I am 100% in agreement is the part about the stage presence and the interaction with the crowd, because he made a point of that. I think that part I can agree 100%. A lot of what is said, I agree very partially, because I feel that the whole thing of the operatic elements, I think you mentioned a few times, the whole thing about bringing operatic elements.
very consistent on that.
And I think that's something that shows a little bit, but honestly, I don't think it's a defining
No,
characteristic.
it's because I think his style or the way that they use those more classical oriented writing and composition techniques
Yeah,
are what normies thinks of classic music
of opera.
or opera. Yeah,
Yeah.
it couldn't be farther from the truth, man. Just because he has some hints of it doesn't make him an operatic singer. He's
Yeah.
a great singer. Don't get me wrong, but just having a little bit of this and a little bit of that doesn't turn him into what is him? Operatic flourishness. Even in the statement, it's just flourishness.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's not his biggest strength.
Yeah,
And actually, I think when they overdid those moments, it's when Queen starts to be a little bit annoying. At least in my opinion, by overdoing them. Don't get me wrong. It is very very cool. It's unique to them, because every
Yeah.
single band that tries to do that later on sounds like an attempt.
yeah, it doesn't really land the same way. Yeah.
No, it's because it's their stuff, man. It's very Queen, and I think Celebrity, he's popular due to the cult of personality rather than his singing prowess.
He deserves it.
Partially, yeah. I'm not saying that this is wrong. I'm not necessarily speaking saying that this is a bad pick for number one. I agree, but not because of me agreeing with what the statement is. Because I agree with the fact that he should be probably top 3, but never not based on this.
Yeah,
Because his vocal range. There are singers with higher vocal range. Emotional delivery. There are several singers that are even better than him at that. Great stage persona. I agree on that one.
yeah, fantastic.
Very few guys are as good as Freddie used to be.
One of the best in history.
He's one of the best.
Yeah.
100%. Because the only one that comes to mind that is as good as him is Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses, and this guy Bruce Dickinson from Iron Maiden. But no more.
Honestly, I feel that for as much as I think that Axl Rose is a fantastic singer and a fantastic stage presence.
Yes, he's not the best
I
singer.
don't think that he fits the same category as the other two that you mentioned. I think
No, I mean,
Bruce and
I'm just saying a stage
Yeah.
persona, man.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
saying a stage persona. I'm just comparing them performing live.
Mhm.
So, not necessarily a bad pick as being the first one.
The thing is that one thing that needs to be said about his singing style is how influential it is. Everybody that came after was in some way inspired by what he did, singing wise. Not necessarily from a technical perspective, but from a stylistic perspective.
Oh, really?
Because he's not the most technical singer.
No.
There are a lot of other singers that have a lot more mastery over the singing apparatus.
Yes, because there are certain sections on which you can hear that he's not at his best.
Mhm.
And you feel it feels not forced, but not as soft or as properly done as someone like Steve Perry.
Yeah, which is the other end of the spectrum, which is 100% control, 100%
Yeah, that
technique.
guy is good, man.
Yeah,
It's-
do you expect to see him on the list?
No, because we're already topping the top three, man. And I think this is gonna be a popularity contest. It's not about because where does Grok get the information from?
All over.
All over, but it's
Yeah.
mostly normie stuff, man. That's why these kind of exercises are kind of fun because it's never what we think is the correct one, right?
yeah.
Look, second place, Robert Plant. God damn it. Lot of personality once again. Why Robert Plant? Touring blues inflected boys defined hard rock and heavy metal. His primal wall in tracks like Immigrant Song and A Whole Lotta Love showcased a powerful, versatile range that could shift from tender to ferocious. Plant's improvisational skills and ability to convey raw emotion, paired with his influence on countless rock vocalists, makes him a titan. His work with Led Zeppelin blended folk, blues, and mysticism, shaping rock's evolution. I agree in the last part, but I don't agree with him being number 2. Because, range. Just dynamic range, yes. But vocal range? He's always singing like this. It's
Yeah.
the whole time just softer or higher
Yeah.
in intensity.
In the realm of technique, also.
Not necessarily the best, man. Freddie makes any day of the day.
Yeah.
Also, the thing is that Led Zeppelin is so good. Man.
Yeah. The thing is that we're talking specifically about singing here.
Yes, the thing is that you saw that most of the praise comes from him being part of Led
Yeah,
Zeppelin.
it's the music by Led Zeppelin. I won't get into any arguments with someone defending the music from Led Zeppelin. It's incredible. The singing fits. Is perfect for Led
It's
Zeppelin.
excellent for Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, and a few of the points of the argument there made sense. The whole thing about powerful vocals. Yes, very powerful vocals. Very big stage presence. The whole thing. I think he used the word improvisation, but I wouldn't even use the word improvisation. I would use expressivity.
Yeah.
Because Led Zeppelin comes from an era where the stage was very in tune with the audience.
Yeah.
And he was great at that.
I read
He was
100%.
fantastic at
He's
that.
also one of those fantastic live show guy. I also forget Diamond Dave. David Lee Roth is also a huge performer, not a good singer.
Don't think he's gonna be here.
No, it's if it's him, if he is in this one, man, no, he shouldn't.
I
But
guess
wherever.
we'll see.
Wherever I love Van Halen, but he's not a good singer, man. He's a fantastic frontman, huge, insanely excellent frontman, but not a good singer. Now, when it comes to Robert Plant, in my opinion, I don't know how many vocalists have been influenced by him, because he comes from an era, especially the next generation, the next decade, on which you got way better singers, in my opinion, because he is a contemporary of Ronnie James Dio,
Yeah.
Ian Gillan.
Do you think Dio's gonna be in the list?
I hope he is.
He
I don't
should.
know.
The thing
No,
is
man, I
that
can
we
see
already should have seen the first four.
number 4.
He should be there.
Yeah, but this is cult of personality, man. So just coming back to Robert Plant,
Yeah.
I think even Freddie, to a certain degree, could be seen as a contemporary of Robert Plant, at least later Led Zeppelin. Why would he be considered that good? Just because he's part of goddamn Led Zeppelin. And Led Zeppelin, again, fantastic band. We even dedicated an entire episode of these live streams to them.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're that good. Are influential, yes. Incredibly important in the context of modern music, yeah.
Yeah.
100% outside of rock. But Robert Plant being this number 2.
And look, well, it's the kind of disclaimer that I would prefer not having to do, but we have to.
Yes.
we're talking about the best or the bests in the history of mankind.
Yeah.
So we're not judging if he's good or if he's not
No.
good. Everybody on the list is gonna be good.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a given. We're discussing if he deserves that spot in the history of mankind as
Yes.
the second best singer ever.
Among all of the different fantastic singers that have graced the face of this forsaken planet.
Yeah, so he's a good singer. Of course, he's a good singer.
Yes.
But does he deserve the second spot in the history of mankind of rock singers? I don't think so.
I don't agree with that statement either. So
No.
yeah. So moving on,
Yes.
Chris Cornell,
For real?
number 3. Look, I love
Yeah,
Chris
because-
Cornell. Huge Soundgarden Soundgarden fan. Sorry, Soundgarden fan. Love his stuff with Audioslave. Love his whole career. But number 3, right after these two guys, well, he's better than Robert Plant.
Yes.
Yeah, easily,
Yes, yeah.
easily, hands down. As good as Freddie?
No.
No,
I don't think so.
No. Let me see why.
Okay, let's see what Grok has to say
Yes.
about him.
Chris Cornell's voice was a force of nature, with a 4-octave range and a gritty, soulful tone. Songs like Black Hole Sun, and Like a Stone highlight this. Yeah, the super obvious picks.
Yeah.
Highlights his ability to convey vulnerability and intensity, his technical skill, emotional delivery, and role in pioneering grunge with Soundgarden place him high on the list. Cornell's versatility across genres, from heavy metal to acoustic ballads, sets him apart. Well, in his solo career, he has plenty of acoustic-oriented songs. The first that comes to mind is a great song. It's not necessarily fully acoustic, but it's called "Preaching a Friend for the End of the World" or something like that.
Yeah, I know.
From
exactly
Euphoria
the
Morning. Yeah, I don't remember exactly the title, but it's a beautiful track. It's probably the best song in the album, in my opinion. It's very soulful. The singing is fantastic. It's emotional. The thing is that he wasn't that consistent live.
Yeah.
No, man. Just look for different performance videos of them. We gotta also bring into the conversation that he struggled for a good chunk of his career with addictions. So I would like to think that those not necessarily best shows were the result of those situations.
Quite possibly, yes.
Quite possibly. So now, when it comes to the 4-octave, you're gonna see that all of the guys here have 4 octaves. Why? That's the range for a good rock singer. Being very honest, there are very few who are not necessarily that are more on the lower register, but you won't find them singing in bands like Guns N' Roses or the popular ones.
Yeah.
Because think of who is James Hetfield. He's a baritone at best. At times. No, he's a baritone, so that means that he's mid-range when it comes to his vocals,
Yeah.
his vocal range. So that's why you never see him singing, trying to do the Dio stuff.
No.
And the very few times he tried in the earlier Metallica records, no, you don't do it. No. You do
You stick
to what
you
works.
do best. Yeah.
Yes, because actually his vocal range is very good for Metallica.
It is.
But what do you think about Chris?
Look, I think I like him a lot, but it's not about what I like. I like him a lot as a singer. I like his music. I like his singing style.
Yeah.
Very characteristic.
I actually happen to like that a lot.
It's something that also it can be called influential because a lot of people tried to copy it, but didn't really land because it was him. It was his stuff.
Look, as a singer myself, I happen to feel quite influenced by him. But I don't sing anything close to him.
Yeah.
Because I am my vocal range and the style of the music that I like to sing and I record and I produce is more in the vein of the 80s badass rock, hard rock stuff. So my vocal range is closer to that. But him as a singer has moments on which he could kind of pull off the late 80s heavy metal stuff with no problem.
Yeah.
But his vocal style and his technique is it's something very unique.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Sounds like him, and every project that he was part of was heavily influenced by the way he sings.
100%.
Don't you think?
100%.
The texture, the precision or lack of, because that's something
Yeah,
that's
at
very
times
difficult
it's
with
yeah.
him. Trying to sing one of their songs, you always find that he's very loose at certain points with the pitch, but it's not incorrect.
Yeah.
It's like you're playing, you're daring.
Yeah, and it's a good chunk of the personality of
Yes.
his vocals.
It is.
But look, I have a gripe with the very last statement. I think when I think was the whole thing about versatility.
Yes.
Honestly, for as much as I think he's a good singer, I wouldn't consider him a versatile singer because he used as a reference there that he can sing rock and rock ballads. Wow, so versatile.
Yeah, but if you think of David Coverdale, he's not gonna be here. White Snake.
He should.
Yeah, but he's not popular, man. And man, man, we start off
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
beginning, so you know this is gonna be a popularity contest. He's a good singer for both ballads and hard rock stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
And he could be singing any regular ballad easily, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think Chris Cornell is also capable. In that one, I differ with you, from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because his solo career has plenty of ballads, and he nails them.
The thing that I
There is
don't
one
think-
from Euphoria. Sorry for interrupting. There is one. There's another song from Euphoria, "Morning." The name of the song is "When I'm Down."
Mhm.
That's like a '60s rock and roll ballad.
Mhm.
Nailed, like excellent, man. I totally recommend it. I'm gonna even share those tracks on the Discord
Okay.
because it's the kind of songs that actually shows you the actual range of the guy. Because when he was part of everything produced by Soundgarden is very either depressive and kind of eerie
Yeah.
or heavy. And Audioslave is, well, it's mainstream rock, man. It's just it's commercial rock.
Yeah,
And
good commercial rock.
Good commercial rock, okay? So it's most of the time uplifting, punchy, kind of, you get me. It's like the anti-Nickelback from the early 2000s. If you know what I mean, because this is still commercial as all F's, but this is the serious one. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
This is legit.
Legit.
It's legit.
Yeah.
So, but in his solo material, you can see that he actually has a huge range, man. So in that one, I'm not against the comments here.
I think that when I think of versatility, I think of something that goes way beyond being able to sing ballads and rock music. Because I know we have plenty of evidence for him being great at singing rock ballads as well.
Yep.
But I would consider versatility going considerably further away from that.
But I don't think versatility in this context applies to him being able to sing, I don't know, mariachi. It's more of a terrible.
Well,
Are you mind implying singer? I don't know. No, I mean, is the ability of the singer to sing in a way that conveys emotion in different styles. Being versatile means, or at least in this context, from my perspective, means the capability of the singer to actually do a good job in completely different emotional settings.
okay, yeah, makes sense.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So in this case, Chris Cornell actually excels at it. Even Robert Plant to a certain degree, but I think when comparing Robert Plant, Chris Cornell, and Freddie Mercury, man, Robert Plant is in the loser end.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's impossible for him to be at the same level as those two guys when it comes to this capability of expressing or fitting correctly in different contexts. Because you can say like Led Zeppelin. What's the name of this track? How could I forget? It's one of the most popular, man.
Give me some context.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember because right now the one that comes to my head, the name is Dazed and Confused, but it's the one when you leave me, baby. Is that one? I don't know if that's remember. I don't think it's the name. Whatever. It's one of those. It's a very bluesy, like slow-paced, sad-sounding ballad, man. And that it's super. In that one, I think Robert Plant does a great job. But is it the only time that comes to my head that he's actually doing that dynamic range?
But look, think of Chris Cornell and think of his different acts.
Yes.
Let's just put two on the side. So Soundgarden and Audioslave.
Yes.
They sound nothing alike. The
No.
bands.
No, the band.
Audioslave and Soundgarden.
Yes.
I don't have the evidence to back this up because we never saw Robert Plant with a different band.
No.
But I can't imagine Robert Plant singing outside of Led Zeppelin because anything that he's singing would sound like Led Zeppelin.
But it could be because Led Zeppelin is so important and so influential and so quintessence for rock music and modern music in general
Yeah.
that it's impossible to think of them playing something else or somewhere else with someone else. So I think it's more about that. So let's continue.
Yes.
For Janis Joplin, obviously. let me read this out.
Okay.
Why Janis Joplin? Steven Tyler. Janis Joplin. Raw, bluesy voice was revelation in the male dominator. Yes. Her raspy heart wrenching performances in Piece of My Heart and me and Bobby McGee, channel deep emotional pain and power. Janis's uninhibited style and ability to fuse rock with soul and blues made her an icon, despite her tragically short career. Her influence on her vocalist is immense. Agreed.
Do you?
In this one, I have no gripes with this statement, other than the fact that so much emphasis on the fact that she was a woman. Aren't we over that already?
We should be.
Wherever.
Yeah.
But I think she's a fantastic singer. Because
Yeah.
the statement is correct. Basically, this is the description that I have in my head when it comes to her sound.
Mhm.
Because she managed to blend very folky and bluesy oriented singing styles and even techniques in a kind of balls to the wall.
There's none of that.
Very face fronting, super bold sound.
Just sorry.
Oh.
I think we have comments, just so we don't
Oh yes,
miss on them.
damn it.
Uh,
Sorry, man. Yo, Marcus, what does you guys say? Thank your accents are different. This thing, probably you might be able to read this one.
wait. Okay.
Okay.
Who am I talking to?
I don't know.
João Marcos.
That-
Okay.
that-
Hey, João. Yes, we are from different nationalities. I am Brazilian as well. He is not.
Yes.
But yeah. So if you communicate in Portuguese, I'll be the only one to be able to understand.
Yes, and sorry, man, for not being able to read your comments. The thing is that for whatever reason, the goddamn chat was behind something else.
Yeah, but look, we're glad to have you here. So why don't you tell us what is your favorite rock singer, and we're gonna see if it pops up on the list as well.
Sure. Now, coming back to Janis, I think she's a great singer, totally influential, not only on female singers, because even I have been influenced by her. Why? Because her style is probably quintessential rock and roll.
It is.
Because she sounds like a rock singer, and why? Powerful. She actually has a range, emotional range, super. You can any song you hear from her, you can feel the different layers of emotion, and that's what made her such a great singer.
Yeah.
Also, she managed to pull those layers of emotion live. That's insane, man. The very few footage we got of her performing live is like, dude, that was good.
Yeah.
And I mind being there. That should have been amazing. So yeah, I don't have issues with this statement. And being number 4, I don't have issues with that either.
I have some issues with the number
C'est
4.
quoi?
Look, I find that she deserves to be on this list. Definitely. She's all of this and some. She's extremely influential. One thing that I like about her singing
Yes.
is that even though it's more easily identified by a raw quality, she's not lacking technique. She has technique. She lets the rawness of her singing be more ahead,
But it's still controlled, man.
but it's still controlled. Actually, she makes very good use of the technique that she has to deliver something that is powerful and that feels raw, but it's very good.
Because think of Shape of My Heart. Piece of My Heart. Is Piece of Shape? Yes, Piece, because the Shape of My Heart is Sting. He's not gonna be here. It's impossible.
No.
Yeah.
He shouldn't, being very honest.
I'll be honest,
I
yeah.
like Sting, but he's
Yeah,
not.
he's not that good.
Yeah.
No, but Janis's technique in that one, when, it feels like she's about to blow up, but she never does. That's control, man.
Yeah.
Because she knew how far she could push her own vocals to the point of it being almost dangerous. But it never goes off.
Yeah.
That's Dark Horse balls, man.
Because
Singer.
look, I feel that she's a more refined version of Robert Plant.
Ah,
When it comes to
yeah,
singing.
yeah.
Because he has that kind of wild power.
She would have been great in Led Zeppelin.
She would be great in Led Zeppelin.
Now that I think of it.
Better than him.
I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there.
No, look. No, once again, it was just a joke. Robert Plant is perfect for Led Zeppelin.
Yes.
But honestly, I feel that she has a similar style, but she takes it up a notch.
Texture and also range. Well, as a woman, it's easier for her to reach the higher notes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never thought about that. It wouldn't be that bad of a crazy stunt.
Yeah. Is it possible that she ever did like a cover or something?
No. I think she passed away sooner.
Yeah, because I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly when she passed away, but I don't think it was at the same time as when Led Zeppelin was.
But she had
Probably
a-
Yardbirds, but not Led Zeppelin.
But she had a short-lived career, right?
Yeah, man.
She made a big dent in the industry
Yeah, I
and in the music realm, but she was quite short.
Yeah, off the top of my head, I think she only got like 2 albums.
I think so.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's legacy, man.
Yeah. 100%. So let's see how it keeps going,
It's going down.
or it keeps
No,
disappointing.
it's gonna be disappointing. This is your favorite, Steven Tyler, man. Please do you.
Number 5.
Number 5, yes. Let me read it. To quote. Why Steven Tyler? Steven Tyler's distinctive, high-pitch, wall and dynamic range made Aerosmith one of America's greatest rock bands. Tracks like Dream On, obviously, and Sweet Emotion, that's a good one, that reminds me of showcase his ability to blend bluesy grit with theatrical flair. Tyler's energetic stage presence and longevity, well, yeah, along with his knack for crafting memorable melodies,
Yeah. Gotta agree with you.
solidify his status. His vocal acrobatics inspired generations of rock singers. Okay, dude, I'm gonna leave that to you to attack first.
Look, let me first say that I actually enjoy Aerosmith music quite a lot.
It's fun.
I think they are fun.
They gotta
are-
be fantastic live.
They are far from a consistent band. They have horrible songs.
Oh yes,
But they have awesome songs that
Yes.
I love.
yeah.
Steven Tyler is a singer that does have quite a lot of personality. He has a very characteristic style to him. I don't think he even deserves to be in the top 10. Being very honest.
I agree with you on that one.
I like his singing, but the same that can be said about his music. That's kind of inconsistent. His singing is very inconsistent as well.
Kind of rough at times.
Kind of rough. He delivers some incredible singing performance
At times.
Some really remarkable. I have to agree 100% with what he says about about the whole thing about crafting catchy
Oh
melodies.
yeah.
His singing has that catchy quality to it, and also he has.
Dude looks like a lady.
He makes his singing be rock and roll and fun at the same time, which is
Yeah.
also something that I respect and admire quite a lot.
And somehow kind of gets lost in rock music, don't you think?
Mhm.
Because rock music tends to be like, this is the real deal, man.
Yeah.
This serious business. This is like, we're talking about real stuff, man.
Yeah.
It feels, it's tough to feel it. Yeah, and his style is super fun,
Yeah, it is.
and he's way better than David Lee Roth, who happens to be also very fun.
Mm-hmm.
But Steven Tyler is better as a singer.
Yeah, and he's a good showman.
Oh
He's a good showman.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
The thing is that, for example, the examples here given were Dream On.
Mhm.
I love that song, particularly the singer, until he goes, Dream On! When he goes that high pitched, it's too much, man, for way too long. And I can see why he couldn't keep singing that song later on in his life, man. It's way too high, and also in the record, in the recording, it sounds a little bit forced. He was kind of pushing his voice to its limits.
Was at the limit of what he was
Yeah.
capable of doing.
Especially at the end. I haven't warmed up. I'm not trying to get there because it's that high.
Yeah.
But impressive. Yeah, but kind of annoying. But then, for example, much more modern songs. That one, Sweet Emotion, is actually very cool track
It is. It is.
because it kind of has this grooviness and this kind of wavy sound to it.
There's a kind of psychedelic effect going on.
kind of makes me think of Daedalus. Yeah. Yes, and it has that particular tone to it. It's very relaxed. And then you got Living on the Edge. That song's badass.
It is.
That song's excellent, man.
And it's kind of underrated, right? It's not
it is
one.
so
It's not one of the hits.
Yeah, it's kind of underrated, man. And I don't know why. I think it's one of the best tracks
Yeah.
because it has. It's a great composition,
Mm-hmm.
but also has plenty of. How can I put it? The singing is right,
Mm-hmm.
and it's actually emotional.
Yeah.
It's just gotta. It actually gets the these. I don't know how to describe it, man. It has balls,
Yeah.
particularly during the choruses,
Mm-hmm.
because the verses are quite kind of relaxed, a little bit like Sweet Emotion,
Mhm.
emotion. But when it hits the bam,
Mhm.
he's no longer happy.
Yeah.
It's intense.
Yeah.
Like it's serious business. So he's one of those guys who actually managed to do both.
Yeah, actually, but honestly, even though he goes a little bit more daring on his singing and
Yeah.
he shows more flashy singing, on tracks that are more intense, emotionally speaking.
Yes.
I particularly like best his fun stuff, like Walk This Way.
Oh yeah, walk this.
Yeah, because
actually.
it's a super fun track, and I think that's where he truly shines, being very honest.
I agree.
Rather than when he's trying to go flashy singing.
I get you. I get you. Yeah, actually, Walk This Way is a great example of where he shines.
Yeah, it's such a fun track.
It's a fun track, man. Yeah, everything about it's so cool, man. Because he managed to do the quasi rap thing.
Yeah.
But what?
Yeah, but it's still singing. It's not
Still
rapping.
singing. It's not
actually
rapping. It's
singing,
actually it's proper. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. And this is again a little bit controversial because this is once again hitting the cult of personality thing. Mick Jagger,
yeah. For real?
number 6, man. Mick Jagger's voice, though not technically perfect,
So
great start.
not good.
It's instantly recognizable and dripping with attitude. I agree on that one. His
I agree.
swaggering
So-
delivery in songs. What?
I agree with the dripping personality. I don't find it that recognizable.
No.
I don't think it's a
Yeah.
super remarkable.
It makes me think that this is paid by the Rolling Stones.
Oh well.
Yeah, but yeah, I get you. He's swaggering, delivering songs like Sympathy for the Devil and Give Me Shelter, embodies rock rebellious spirit. I agree on that statement. Jagger's ability to infuse blues, soul, rock, like every single one of these guys in the
all of
list,
them.
raw energy combined with his unmatched stage charisma, like probably basically everybody. Yeah, up to this point, everybody has the same characteristics. It makes him a legend. His influence on rock performance is undeniable. Yes, because everyone wants to move like Jagger. Actually,
Yeah, actually. Yeah.
yeah, terrible song. Well, it's not a bad song, but when you discover that the Rolling Stones have one that is very similar, which one is it? I always forget the name of that one.
By the Rolling Stones.
Yeah, by the Rolling Stones, but it's super. It's basic. They ripped them off badly, man. And even they had the goal to call it "Move Like Jagger," by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree
With what?
with him being in the top 10.
Oh yeah.
He should be probably in top 20, but out of his importance and relevance in rock music.
Yeah.
Because he happened to be the front guy for the Doors, the Rolling Stones, man.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think he's gonna be there.
Morrison.
Yeah, Jim Morrison, I think.
No. And honestly, I wouldn't place
But
him
he's
here.
as good as Mick Jagger.
Which is not saying that. Look,
I'm being frank. I'm being frank.
respect where respect is due.
Yeah.
Rolling Stones is a legendary act.
Yeah.
It is.
With no question.
Yeah. Deserves the spot in the history of rock. It does.
100% probably is bigger than Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, because.
Or even bigger than the Beatles. Therefore, than God.
But now, Mick Jagger as a singer, he is a great performer.
100%.
He's a great showman.
Yes.
Personality, I'll grant you that. But honestly, he's not a fantastic singer.
No, by far, man. No. He barely pulls it off.
Yeah, because anybody else in this list so far,
It's better.
yeah, by orders of magnitude.
Yeah. It's not even a match.
Yeah, so no, I'm not really going along with this one.
But now, when it comes to his personality and how much his style influenced the development of rock music, because that could be one of the reasons why he should be there, because the Rolling Stones are a cornerstone, get it? Of for rock music
Yeah,
and contemporary music for that matter, but especially rock. And his techniques or lack of became kind of the rock and roll canons for singers, don't you think?
I could,
And even his antics live
Yeah,
are
agree.
part of the whole. It's part of the whole palette of things you gotta do.
look, I would agree with that if this was a list of 10 most influential singers. Not the top 10 singers.
Good. Probably I should have done my prompt better.
No, but I think this is a cool prompt because it gives room for this conversation. But honestly, he's amongst the top 10 most influential singers.
Got you.
I don't think he's amongst the top 10 best singers.
No, I agree.
And I think we're talking about, if you put top singers, I suppose we're talking about quality.
Yeah. Top. Yeah, more. Yeah, I think.
I think you just put top 10.
Top 10 rock singers of all time. Explain why. Yes.
But honestly, I feel that this is a discussion about quality.
Yeah, this is his position in this list is based on his influence
Yeah.
rather than his capabilities as a singer.
Yeah.
And how good he was a singer. He is a singer. They're still around.
Somehow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whatever. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Ann Wilson, agreed. From heart.
Who? Okay.
Why Ann Wilson's powerful crystalline voice and also rough and punchy brought a new dimension to rock in the 70s. Her performances in Barracuda and Crazy on You display a commanding range and emotional intensity. Wilson's ability to tackle hard rock anthems and delicate ballads I read like alone showcases her versatility as a trailblazer. Her impact is profound. Man, what's the deal with this? That's propaganda. But amazing singer. She's great because she's actually capable of doing that vocal range. Because she goes from the ballads to the hard rock stuff easily and smoothly, man. She got the roughness, yet the tender touch of a woman, if that makes sense, because her voice is super feminine. Even when she goes hard, you feel that this is a woman. And if there is the genius of woman. This is something that is fantastic with women, because their voice, and not even their voice, even the way they write music is weird. It's proper, but it's very different. So you can tell, like this, that it's been done by a woman. And Heart, being a female-led, for the most part, band, has that feminine touch to everything. But still, they rock it out, hands down.
Look, if I'm being very honest, I'm not super familiar with the rest of the, because of course they have gigantic hits, and I know the hits, but I'm not super well versed in the rest of their stuff.
You should.
I respect quite a lot them for what I know, which is very little, but fantastic singing, good songs.
Yeah.
But do you know them by album or anything like that? Do you have something to recommend?
I go for the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now my memory is not serving me well. Even my tongue is kind of stuck. Because we were listening to the third performance, so my brain's still there. Something else.
Look, if there are any fans of Heart there in the audience, if you can recommend me something, I would love to get it more into their stuff.
But I recommend the first one. The first one, that's very good introduction to her stuff. Because her sister is the guitar player. She's also very good. She's not a shredder by any means, but she's very good at finger style. So, I stopped there.
I won't even go there.
But her technique on guitar is very cool, because there is even a video doing the rounds of her playing. I think is explaining how to play a Led Zeppelin track on the mandolin.
Okay.
And she does it greatly, man. Like, okay, yeah, she knows how to play those acoustic instruments, and she's even, if I recall correctly, she got she has a signature guitar made by Taylor, an acoustic one. But I might be wrong if it's Taylor or Gibson. I don't remember who is, but I think it's Taylor. And it's a very good guitar. Well, I had the chance to work with one day in the studio. It's actually good.
Okay.
Not necessarily over expensive, but it's for the price and very good.
Okay.
Yes. So yeah, great singer and great band, by the way.
So what position are we at now?
7 now.
She's number 7.
She's number 7.
So do you agree with that placement?
She should be part of the top 10, yes. I would put her a little bit higher.
Yeah? Okay.
Maybe 5. Because we got Steven Tyler. Yeah, man, she beats both of these guys, man. Steven Tyler and Mick Jagger are on top of her. She's clearly better than them.
Yeah.
By yours of magnitude. There is not even a question. Now let's move. Okay, finally, Axl. What? I'm gonna save this for later. Okay.
Yeah.
Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses. Why? Axl's piercing, versatile voice defined the late 80s hard rock scene. His ability to shift from gritty snarls in Welcome to the Jungle to soaring melodies in Sweet Child O' Mine.
So his narrows 2 years ear piercing.
Showcase the dynamic range. His dynamic range. Rose's raw emotion and unpredictable energy made Guns N' Roses a cultural phenomenon. His vocal style influenced countless hard rock and metal singers. Yeah, I have no issues with this statement. For the good and the bad. No, it's actually...
I love how we were talking about great singing, and the very description is from a snarl
and to ear piercing.
To ear piercing.
Yeah, look, beautiful.
That's range.
That's range. Actually, he somehow has range.
He does.
Yeah?
Yeah, he actually does.
Because but he knows how to play with it. Because think of November Rain, Elvis track, right? He does it great when the ballad portion of the track is he excels at it. He's actually convincing.
But one thing that I always, one thing I think about him, he is a good singer. He has technique. He knows how to work his voice. But I think that more than a singer, he's a performer.
Yeah, I have issues with this, with the whole proposition. because he's not giving that much credit to his live shows. He excelled at it.
Yeah.
He still does, and he still delivers the same wailing, ear-piercing snarls live. There are videos of him doing the rounds. I saw one that is clearly doctored, man, of his isolated vocals live. It's clearly so. Man, he's even mumbling, but people are falling for it because he's cool to hate on Axl. Why? Because they convinced the world that he was the one who ruined Guns N' Roses. It wasn't him. Do your research, you'll see why.
That's a conversation for.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go there because it's actually a huge explosion of comments.
Worms.
Yes, worms, actually. But yeah, he excels live, and he's still playing the goddamn music. It's still the same tune.
No, look, not only when I mention the
Pitch.
performance, it's not only live. I'm talking performance as a musician, because he has technique. He has singing chops.
Yeah, but for what he does, there's technique.
Yeah, but I feel that where he shines is not in having technique, is as a performer. I don't know if I'm... Because a guitar player, for instance, the best guitar player is not the one that knows the most notes or that dominates the most scales.
Yes.
It's the one that knows how to put the right notes at the right places
Yes.
at the right time.
And with the right amount of strength.
And I think that Axl is great at that as a singer.
Yep.
Because he has technique once again, but I don't think that's his forte. I think where he truly shines is in knowing how to use
I
it.
can see your point. Yeah,
Yeah.
the use of emotion through his vocals, right?
Yeah.
I agree on that one. Yeah, because when you're listening to their music, you might not like them, and but maybe it's because you don't like Axl. But that's how big of an influence he is.
Yeah.
That's how big of a personality he is, and how much influence he got on the overall sound of the band. And I get your point, because when I got into Guns N' Roses, I also at first had a hard time learning to appreciate the sound of his voice. Not because it's a bad voice, it's simply because I come from Iron Maiden, which Bruce Dickinson clearly wasn't there.
No.
Whose vocals, you can also make the argument that at the beginning he was a little bit rough, a little bit out of tune, but it's way more controlled than Axl. Well, in a musical sense, okay, because Axl controls his vocals to a point of it being almost funny. But because the range he got is absurd, and also the potency, the loudness of his vocals is very ridiculous.
Yeah, his projection is
It's
insane.
insane, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
insane because when he's doing the live show, he actually has to put the microphone when he does the Welcome, Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah.
He has to put it all the way down here because his range is so vast, volume-wise, that when he's playing the more heartfelt songs, he has to be close enough for the projection to be correct.
Yeah.
But then he plays correctly with the microphone. And if you watch earlier performances by Guns N' Roses, wow, he was good. He already had it. But of course, they were a very active band in Los Angeles back in the 80s before they became big.
Yeah.
So of course, he has plenty of hours of experience on the stage, man. It
Yeah.
shows, man.
Yeah, yeah,
It
100%.
shows. Huge band, huge singer. Would you put him in number 8? He belongs there, first and foremost.
He belongs.
Top 10.
He definitely belongs in the list. Now I'm trying to think the placement. Look, in this list, that
This has been a very bad list.
yeah. Look, in this list as it is, he should have been higher, because
top 5.
because he's better than a lot of the ones that has
yeah.
already popped up. In my list, if I were to write one, I think his placement will be correct.
Okay.
Because there will be people that are not in this list.
I agree.
So
Yeah, because I have a hard time deciding if he deserves to be on number 8 or on the top 5. Because not me being a fanboy, I truly like their music. But being objective, I'm also trying to balance his position based on his prowess as a live show singer.
yeah,
Because it's something that is very important, especially for rock music.
yeah,
Because you gotta show what you got, what you were able to do in the studio live. It's some form of code of honor, if that makes sense to you, right?
yeah.
Because, man, if you did that in the studio, everybody knows that that's a super controlled environment.
Yeah.
The challenge is pulling it off in front of the people.
Yeah,
Man.
and that's where you get the respect.
Yes, and
Yeah.
he does. And the vast majority of the bad boys here does it.
Yeah,
Even Mick Jagger. It's not that hard.
Well,
So let's continue because that's where these two guys are the ones that are super controversial for me.
because I think once we reach the end of the list, we need to kind of go over who should have been on the list
Yeah.
and it
Wasn't
isn't.
mentioned. Yes.
So let's see.
John Bon Jovi.
So
Before I read this out loud, I love Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Living on a Prayer is better than any other song, excluding, of course, One Dead or Alive.
yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that song is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
But Living on a Prayer is better than Straight to Heart. What's the name of that one? You Give Love a Bad Name?
Yeah, it's a fun track.
No,
as well.
but man,
It's a fun track.
man, but Living on a Prayer is better.
Mm-hmm.
It's better. Yeah, I mean,
It is better.
it has the vocal thing with the.
Yeah, yeah.
What's the name of that guy? I don't know the name of the pedal right now. My brain is not functioning.
The dog box now.
A dog box.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a dog box. Yes, thank you. John Bon Jovi.
Mm-hmm.
Why John Bon Jovi's warm? Why John Bon Jovi's warm and thematic voice carried arena rock into the mainstream. Arena rock was mainstream.
Yeah, it's always been mainstream.
Yeah.
That's why he's in an arena.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
like Living a Prayer. Of course, you
Yeah.
give love, but it was first. So even Grok agrees with me. Highlights his ability to deliver powerful, singable melodies, his consistency, charisma, and knack for crafting radio-friendly rock anthems made Bon Jovi a household name. His vocal style bridged hard rock and pop, broadening rock's appeal.
So
Everything said there is correct.
Agreed.
But there are songs by Bon Jovi that John Bon Jovi is unable to sing because he was that ridiculous in the studio. But everybody's gangsta in the studio, man. Because, for example, think of "Living on a Prayer" when he goes the final verse,
Yeah, the final chorus that it goes.
final chorus. Yeah, when they go,
it goes higher an
yeah,
octave.
it was-
yeah.
it-
no, not octave, but
it's a whole key.
yeah, yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
that
It
seems
was high before.
Yeah, and when they reach the part, nah, man,
But it's a great modulation.
I love
It's a
it.
very good modulation.
Powerful, no man, no man.
And actually, that particular
I have a
section.
track, man. Sorry, it's because I have it in my head.
Because look, something happened.
Wow. Oh yeah, Aurora local record, no worries.
Oh, okay, but it's going, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so look, that particular portion of the song is so fantastic because actually they modulate the pitch.
Yeah.
And they also modulate the rhythm because
Yeah.
there's a time signature.
Oh
change
yeah,
there.
you're correct.
It's fantastic because they have that kind of 3/4 that throws you off
Oh yeah.
just before, and it's
Bam.
so good, and it comes back higher. Oh, that's so freaking good.
That's a fact, man. Clearly their
Yeah.
best song besides Dead or Alive. No, yeah, man. That
That's
song is,
freaking
but that song is in a completely different league. Because it's not the arena rock stuff.
No,
That one
it
is
is.
okay.
It's a badass rock
It's
song.
a badass rock track, man. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
And even the lyrics are very badass.
The thing is that now talking about singing, "Living on a Prayer" is a fantastic singing song.
It is.
More than Dead or Alive.
It is a showcase of
Yeah.
prowess, and I think, all jokes aside, he had a fantastic voice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that he's unable. He lost it, but the thing is that years haven't been kind to him.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Just look for some of their live performances. It's not that he sucks, but they had to lower the pitch of some songs. Of course, these being one of them, but still, I did that at the beginning of my career. Not a good idea, not a good plan, and you learn that the hard way. Does he deserve being here?
On the top 10?
I don't think so.
You don't think
And
so?
I love them, but
I'm considering, being very honest.
because they are not that important, man. Wait. It's Bon Jovi. I get it. I'm not attacking them again. I like their music a lot. I'm not a fan, but I have fondness for them because they're fun.
Enjoy them.
I enjoy them quite a lot. And
Yeah.
whenever I go to a rock bar and there's a band playing Bon Jovi, like, let's say,
Yeah.
and if they're there to go, they're like,
Yeah, not everybody can pull it off.
no, because I only saw one guy who pulled it off.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's because
Kudos.
it was a tribute, and
Ah,
so
okay.
there were several bands,
Mm-hmm.
so they picked that particular song, and the singer for that one only had to sing that one.
Ah, okay.
So
well.
no weren't there, man. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
like
But it's still respect.
respect. The
Because
guy pulled it
it's
off.
tough, it's
No, they
tough.
pulled it off beautifully. It was actually, yeah, well done, but. Yeah, but just playing one song kind of
Yeah, yeah.
helps a
Helps,
lot.
yeah.
Helps a lot. So yeah, but I think they're not that important as a rock band when it comes to the continuity of rock and roll. Because even though they are super popular, especially back in the 80s, that particular style of arena rock, they are closer to hair metal than they are to hard rock. That was a trend that didn't last long, man.
No.
And even developed about rap.
It did.
That's why I think this is more about them being over popular. And man, the last pick is ridiculous. So I'm gonna use that as a segue into my my reason behind Bon Jovi.
Okay.
But he deserves to be here. I even don't know if he deserves to be in the top 25
Well,
best singers.
but you talking Bon Jovi?
Bon Jovi, yes. Because even though he's great, there are better singers in that area
Yeah.
or that sound
Yeah.
that weren't even mentioned here.
Agreed. On that one, I
Because
do
again,
have to
compare
agree.
him to Bon Jovi, to Ronnie James Dio again,
Yeah.
and he wasn't mentioned.
Look, but I will try to play the devil's advocate for the list, for the AI. And I would say that this is a list, we put it as rock, and maybe it is excluding anything that he considers to be metal.
Probably.
So let's say your Bruce Dickinsons, your Ronnie James Dio.
We will let's see it next time around. We hit this experiment. Let's go for metal singers.
Yeah.
I think that metal also you are gonna have the good rock singers.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's see. Let's see when the time comes. We'll see.
Okay, so
But now
let's
let's.
take a look at the last one, and this is actually something that I take personal. Kurt Cobain from Nirvana. Kurt Cobain's raw, anguished voice defined the grunge movement. His gritty, emotive delivery in songs like Did You Sleep Tonight? That's horrible. And Come As You Are, that's a great track. Conveyed vulnerability and authenticity. While not technically polished, Cobain's voice carried an emotional weight that resonated deeply with the generation. His influence on alternative rock and his role in reshaping the 90s music landscape
Alternative to what?
earned him a spot. That's the first question. What does alternative rock stand for? Because alternative what? It's rock music.
Yeah.
Rock music by definition is an alternative to mainstream rock, to mainstream pop music.
Yeah.
So why is it alternative to alternative? Therefore, pop.
The negative of a negative.
Yeah, it's basically that.
Yeah,
It's negating their own proposition. Now, him being considered a singer is already concerning to me. All jokes aside, no, man, for God's sake. No. Look, I have no personal gripes with Nirvana. I think that they have great songs. Come As You Are is one of them. Heart Shaped Box is another fantastic track. Even their rendition of David Bowie's
Yeah.
this track, The Man Who Sold the World,
Yeah.
is not bad.
No, it's a good rendition. I like
It's a good rendition.
Yeah.
But him being considered a good singer is ridiculous. Because he's even Grok saying that technically unpolished.
Yeah.
That's been kind. He sucked. Have you seen them live?
Yeah, there are
It's
plenty of bad
even
things.
worse than what you got in the studio. And in the studio, everybody's gangsta. So imagine how many takes they had to get in order to get the final one.
Yeah.
The one that made the final cut. Awful, man.
Yeah, because AI is making a few points for popularity and influence, and for those we cannot deny because Nirvana became huge.
But out of their own.
How organic that was is a different conversation.
Yeah.
But they were huge, and they were indeed. I think they put it like the voice of a generation. Yes,
Yeah.
Nirvana was the
Out
voice
of
of a generation.
what?
Regardless, that's not
Let's
part
leave it
of
there, let's
that's
leave it
not
there,
part
yeah.
of this conversation. But it was part of the voice of a generation.
I read.
But a generation that didn't know how to sing.
Actually, because think of this. Right out of that, of their success, the 90s are not renowned for having great singers, man.
No.
None of them. And in contrast, the 80s, a good chunk of these guys.
And plenty of that water mentioned as well.
Yeah, where's Steve Perry? God damn it!
Yeah, because that's probably the biggest letdown of this list.
Him and Dio.
Because look, Dio, I'm given the benefit of the doubt that Dio may be considered a metal singer. And that's why he wouldn't be in this list. But Steve Perry, he's a rock singer.
And his goddamn Journey.
And he should be top 3 at least.
Yes! Because Journey's super popular.
Yeah.
And it's probably more popular than Bon Jovi. I'm a heart.
Yeah, actually.
Easily.
Yeah. And he's one of the best we ever got, being very honest.
Being very honest, I agree 100%, man.
Yeah.
Because Nirvana, once again, I can give them the benefit of them being part of the creation of the grunge thing, because they don't sound like Soundgarden, and compare his vocal style to Chris Cornell. God damn it,
Completely different.
it's not even in the same ballpark, man.
Yeah.
When he's singing, the other guy is, I don't know what he's doing. He's languishing. I don't know, man. Moaning, probably. And yeah, you can see that I have no love affair with these guys. But I'm trying to be objective, for God's sake. Because his vocal style is very, very, very weak. Because, it's because he's using his emotion. No.
And Freddie Mercury isn't.
Yeah. Is that your argument for real?
Yeah.
Are you telling me that none of these guys in this top 10
Yeah.
didn't show emotion? Is one of the arguments that it was just for every single
For
one.
everything. Yeah.
And you see that the only one that didn't got any form of his blend of blues rock is this guy, because he couldn't even sing to save his life. It shows. That was a terrible joke. I take it back. So, what do you think?
Of him as number 10.
Yeah.
Look, if I'm being very honest, tough but fair, I think he wouldn't even be in top 50.
Not even in 100.
And
Because
once
these-
again, we're talking about best singers in the world. Not talking most influential, not talking most popular. He's probably one of the most popular singers ever, that's a given.
Yeah.
But I can think out of the top of my head, I could put at least 30 singers ahead of him.
Yeah, because look, I'm reading here the reason behind the ranking. Let me read it out loud.
Yeah.
It says that this ranking is based on a combination of vocal talent, cultural impact, and influence on rock music, drawing from their contributions to iconic songs and performances. Let me know whatever. Do you happen to agree with every single one of these guys following this particular? No, this
No.
is clearly just a popularity contest.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I can give you Nirvana having a huge cultural impact, but Bon Jovi didn't. Guns N' Roses, partially,
Yeah.
but they fought with Nirvana, and Nirvana came out on top when it came to popularity and cultural
By a lot.
impact. Yeah,
By a lot.
yeah, because Nirvana's career simply put a stop the development of hard rock in the 90s. It simply halted.
Yeah, he put that on the track.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even dare to say that Guns N' Roses has the same level of cultural influence that Nirvana has. And look, being frank and fair, right?
Yeah.
Tough but fair. Then Bon Jovi, of course, no cultural. Man, Heart. I can give probably is there because vagina. And look, I praise her,
Yeah.
but it's based on whatever this thing got out of Rolling Stone magazine.
Yeah.
Literally, this is clearly a Rolling Stone article. Because, man, this is just the quintessential millennial. I think I like rock music. Let me show it to you. Don't you think? Because every goddamn millennial that I have end up picking up a fight with at a bar talking about music always puts Freddie as our Lord and Savior. Because even though I agree with most of what is said about him and his position in rock music and as a singer himself, there are way better singers.
Yeah.
And it only shows me you know nothing.
Yeah.
This is the highest you could get, which is the very beginning of the ice.
Yeah.
Of the iceberg. Sorry. Finish the phrase.
Look, and I am a fan of Queen. I'm a fan of Freddie Mercury.
I'm a fan of Freddie Mercury as a singer.
I would probably put him like number
3?
7. No, if I were to
Okay.
go full on
Honest.
honest
To God.
to God,
Yeah.
I don't think he would make it to the top 5.
Okay, no, that's fair.
Yeah, because
tough but fair.
Tough but fair. Now, since we are kind of getting to the end of our schedule,
Yes.
we already talked about Steve Perry, so that doesn't count.
Yes.
What's the singer that you think that the most deserve to be on this list, but it isn't?
Jorn.
I'm thinking of Jordan as well, but let's call Jordan metal. So let's.
That's hard rock. Yeah, he's hard rock. He's hard rock.
Yeah.
And because Jordan is great. No stinker song ever in all of his projects.
Yeah. And the singing is always
Oh,
top notch.
No man, it gets better with time.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Somehow he's becoming a better singer with age. Yeah, he's insane.
And he has it all: power, control, personality,
Projection.
range,
Emotion.
every kind of range.
Yeah, because he has dynamic, emotional, pitch.
Yeah, no, he's top 3 singers.
Easily, hands
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
And for those of you who know, Jørn Lande. He's from Norway. And he's one of those song heroes. Get it?
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, but I'm gonna share some of his music as well on the Discord because this guy is fantastic.
Yeah.
He's a huge influence over the way I sing, even the way I developed as a singer and as a performer. David Coverdale,
yeah,
clearly
yeah.
from Whitesnake and Deep Purple. Ian Gillan, where the hell is he? From Deep Purple as well.
Yeah.
Who else is missing? Bruce Dickinson, not necessarily.
Let's call it metal.
Yeah, I would put him in the metal category, but
Because Dio as well.
No, Dio, man. Rainbow is hard rock.
Yeah. And
And-
Dio is one of those. Dio is unforgivable.
Yeah,
It's unforgivable that Dio's not here.
No.
Being very honest.
because Dio is influential as all balls. He created this, and it wasn't Gene Simmons. It was Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah.
So he created the horns.
Yeah.
He actually even created the style of singing for metal, all of his subgenres,
Yeah.
but also for hard rock, but also for rock ballads,
Yeah.
but also for even more happier sounding rock music.
And look, talking about influence, every single good singer that came after
Dio.
him has him as an influence.
100%.
Every single one.
Yeah, is that important?
Yeah.
Cultural impact. God damn it.
Yeah.
So who else?
Look, one of my favorites that is debatable, but I think it deserves to be on top 10 is
Meatloaf.
Jeff Buckley.
Jeff Buckley. Oh yeah.
Because Jeff Buckley is a lot of the things that the list that's kind of millennial leaning.
Everything's
pointed out
millennial,
is
man.
kind of the whole thing about authenticity.
Yeah.
You can go more authentic than Jeff Buckley.
100%.
Being very honest.
And for me, Jeff Buckley's vocals are similar in everything to Freddie Mercury's.
But it's
Wait. But
what a dark
better
twist.
and evil and
Yeah, yeah.
twisted and all sort of bad things. But you get what I mean, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're kind of close in their own in their singing styles. Their range is, of course, very, very, very pronounced and very similar. Both of them like to be in that higher pitch area.
Yeah.
They felt comfortable there. While most of the singers that we mentioned before them are usually mid-range to high.
Yeah.
But these guys are usually high to the top.
Yeah.
Not that they are better than their singers, because Dio reaches higher notes than those guys probably.
Yeah.
Used to reach. This guy also another long horse.
Yeah.
Not long us anymore. But his style is a little bit theatrical,
Yeah.
closer to Freddie. That's why I think he was kind of like a proper continuation of the Freddie style.
Yeah, the thing is that since the music was very different,
Yeah.
the singing became different according to the music.
Oh, good
because
point.
his music is nothing like Queen.
Agree.
The music itself is a lot darker, is a lot more twisted, and the singing, even though it can be said that it has a very big influence from Freddie, it gains the characteristics of the music itself.
Agreed.
So that's why it's quite detached from Freddie's, even though it's very influenced from it, because his music is super weird. And his singing becomes weird as well, but in a great way.
Unsettling as well. I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, good pick. Let me think of a final one because
You mentioned Meatloaf.
Meatloaf. Look, Meatloaf. He's a great composer, man,
Yeah.
and he's not necessarily the most gifted singer.
But talk about theatrics.
Oh, he kicked them all out of the water.
Yeah,
I was
because-
about to say something else, but yeah, he's better at that because if as you said, if we're talking about theatrics, man, Meatloaf.
Yeah.
Even David Bowie, he's not a great singer, technically speaking, but he was great in the theatric
Yeah.
aspect, and also even his recordings, man, he was acting. You can hear him performing to the microphone.
Yeah.
Okay, kudos to that. He's not Ronnie James Dio, one of his contemporaries, or Freddie, but even man, the song with Freddie, Under Pressure. The best part is when he joins. You're like, yeah, that's the coolest part because he delivers, man.
Yeah.
Even though Freddie's like doing all sorts of stuff, like shut up. He goes, nah, 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 nah.
Yeah.
Because the vibrato, the personality, the projection, and Freddie takes actually second seat in that song.
Actually, yeah. The
Because
most
of-
remarkable parts of the song are David
It's
Bowie's.
David Bowie's.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah. Big respect.
Big respect. That was awesome. Yeah, but damn it.
Yeah.
And look, Freddie's fantastic as a singer, and even live, there's a live performance of them playing that one.
Mm-hmm.
I think even I think that was a reissue. There is a live performance of the song. Performance of the song. But I think it's Annie Lennox. It's not Freddie Mercury. It's after he passed away. Yeah, I think it's Annie Lennox. But wow. Also, she's a good singer. Where is she?
The list has plenty of holes.
No, man. I would summarize this list as basically millennial starter pack 4. I pretend to like rock music. Do you agree with that one?
I can agree. Even though, look,
This is the posters list.
This is a popularity contest, as you put it. I think it's the best way to frame it. The thing is, there is some correlation at that point in time, popularity versus quality. Especially if we're talking music all the way up to the 80s.
But dude, the only obscure guy on the list that we came up with is Jorn.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, man. So popularity, my ass. This is just it's the posters list because it's picking the safe. These are safe picks. Every single one, rather than goddamn Kurt Cobain. But every single one of these are obviously why, because everybody knows a song from Queen. Everybody knows a song from Led Zeppelin. Everybody knows of Chris Cornell because of Audioslave, if you're part of the millennial group. Janis Joplin because female representation. That's the reason why it puts so much emphasis on the female factor. Steven Tyler because somehow they are still around. Mick Jagger because they are clearly around. Again,
since the dawn of time.
Yeah, since the dawn of time. Because when the Jericho's trumpet is going to play the day of their retirement. And Wilson's because female thing again. Axl Rose because everybody knows Sweet Child of Mine. And if you're a poser, you go to a guitar, you're gonna butcher that freaking song. Bon Jovi because it's 80s and we pretend to like the 80s because of Stranger Things. And then Kurt Cobain because obviously I'm a millennial.
Yeah, look, the list,
sucked.
It kind of sucked, but there is a very clear low point, and I think I could kind of go with it if I were looking from a popularity perspective or from an influence perspective, because since we weren't super clear with the prompt, with what we wanted, we just put top rock singers.
I probably even had typos because it's kind of hard to type here.
So I could grant some of those picks a pass. But honestly, Kurt Cobain is the one that really simply doesn't deserve to be in the list.
I think this legitimizes the entire thing, man.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that this is out of Rolling Stone and Vice and all of those tablets list.
Yeah.
There is no, again, where's Journey? Or where is,
Yeah, because you mentioned yourself, like, if you're talking about popularity, Journey is one of the most popular bands ever.
And David Bowie, don't tell me that he is not popular. Yeah. And he's a way better singer than Kurt Cobain. And his influence in music is way bigger than Nirvana's. It's a fact, man.
Yeah.
Because Nirvana is very important. Yes, 100%. But you see that we have plenty of 90s stuff, man. Don't you think? Look. Kurt Cobain, Nirvana, Guns N' Roses, Aerosmith, Soundgarden on Audioslave. And Queen to a certain degree, because I would put Queen and Heart as 80s. And even Bon Jovi, I don't know Bon Jovi, because Bon Jovi had a huge comeback in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
This is millennial stuff, man. You see my point, right?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
This is not going through the eons of time.
Yeah, because how can you leave Ronnie James Dio aside?
Yes.
If you're talking about legacy, it's probably the biggest legacy in singing.
Yeah.
The biggest, number one.
Yeah, he is indeed, because he was one of the. He's been around for so long. He was part of so many bands.
Yeah.
Because this is the end of the conversation, but let me finish it with this.
Go.
Ronnie James Dio. If you listen to his stuff with Elf, it's pure hard-hitting rock and roll. It's fun, fast, and kind of lighthearted. Then you go to his stuff with Rainbow. That's badass.
It's spectacular.
It's just a spectacular because they go from proto metal, Kill the King, god damn it, to insanely beautiful ballads such as Catch the Rainbow.
Yeah.
And even Rainbow Eyes, which is slightly more kind of geriatric. No, it's a beautiful ballad, but that one is full on acoustic and barely no energy. But Catch the Rainbows,
Yeah.
oof, man, that song is beautiful.
And the singing is spectacular.
Oh yeah, man. And then you go to his time with Black Sabbath. Wow,
Best
best
version.
version of Black Sabbath ever.
Changed my mind.
Period. And then his whole career,
Mm.
plenty of bangers
Mm-hmm.
from Cheesy, such as Don't Talk to Strangers.
Mm.
It's a badass track, but the beginning is kind of catchy. But also you got Rainbow in the Dark, also super cheesy intro, but what a great track it is.
Ah, it's fantastic.
No, I love it, but
Yeah.
ding, 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 ding.
It's awesome, man.
It's kind of cheesy, man. But the track is fantastic, man. But then you got Last in Line. Ah, that moment. And,
Glorious.
Oh, yeah, that's pure goddamn rock and roll. I'm getting goosebumps just by remembering. Thinking of it. So, yeah, that's why Dio is that important.
Yeah.
And if you don't like what I said, leave a comment here down below. Okay, so that kid has his own style. I'm going to steal it from here.
Look, since if for those of you watching this after we went live,
Please leave your own list.
yeah, you can join and you can keep this conversation going on our Discord as well. The conversation doesn't need to end here.
Yeah.
So if the Discord link to the Discord is in the description, so if you want to keep the conversation going, just join us there and tell us what's your favorite rock singer and why this list sucks.
Yes.
And
I'm gonna share it on the Discord as well. Just
The list? Yeah.
just to keep the conversation rolling over there because this was kind of disgraceful.
Yeah.
So,
So look, and if you want to support this kind of content in this channel and what we do here, one way to do it is by listening to our music on Apple Music or Spotify. It's inspired by a bunch of these guys.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but
not all- hashtag not all.
yeah, but a bunch of them. And also you can follow us on social media such as Instagram and X because it other ways for us to keep the conversation going. So we just want to be close together. We should be together. So
but
we're together.
Yeah.
So anything else that needs to be said?
Yeah. As every single time we meet you, we remind you that you should never let anybody tell you what to dream about. And remember that we will see you when we see you.